Welcome back, fight fans. Today, we're diving into one of the most anticipated trilogies in UFC history, Holloway vs. Poirier 3, the climactic main event of UFC 318.
One more time, big dog.
Great, guys.
This matchup is more than just rankings or titles. It's about legacy, rivalry and closure, set in New Orleans in front of Poirier's home crowd, as he prepares to bid farewell to the Octagon. Both fighters, already established as icons, now face off not just for the BMF title, but for redemption and the definitive final chapter in a storied rivalry. Before we jump in, a quick request: if you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing. It's just one click for you, but it means the world to us. Thanks for the support. Now let's get started. Poirier leads the series 2-0, but Holloway has never been more motivated to turn the tide. To understand what's at stake, let's wind back to their previous encounters. The first meeting at UFC 143, all the way back in 2012, saw Poirier submit the young Hawaiian with a triangle armbar, a moment that marked Holloway's UFC debut. Fast forward to 2019's interim lightweight title war at UFC 36, and their epic 5-round battle showcased how Poirier's power and compact boxing contrasted with Holloway's relentless pace and output. Despite almost identical strike totals, Holloway outlanded Poirier 181 to 178 in significant strikes. Poirier's were heavier, inflicting deeper damage and ultimately earning him a clear-cut decision. Both head-to-head results suggested that stylistically, Poirier's power, experience and grappling gave him an edge at 155 pounds. But things are never static in MMA, and both fighters have evolved considerably since. Holloway, now 33, is surging after one of the most spectacular KOs in UFC history, a buzzer-beater finish of Justin Gaethje that electrified UFC 300 and secured the BMF belt. Although he fell short in recent featherweight title bids against Alexander Volkanovski, Holloway's output and adaptability remain unmatched. Most importantly, he's dispelled notions that lightweight is too much for him, surviving and thriving against top-tier power punchers, and showing fans a durable, constantly improving version of Blessed. Meanwhile, Poirier at 36 enters this fight at the twilight of a long, war-worn career, determined to end on a high note in his home state. His resume is loaded, stoppages and victories over the best at 155, including Gaethje, McGregor, Hooker and more. However, with recent KO losses and a brutal finishing schedule over the past few years, Poirier's durability has become a hot topic, though his heart and technical craft remain elite. Fighting style-wise, this matchup is as compelling as it is familiar. Holloway operates as a pure volume striker, with some of the best boxing ever seen in MMA, a bottomless gas tank and iron will. His approach is to drown opponents in pressure, never letting up and trusting his chin and recovery to keep him standing even under heavy fire. Statistically, his significant strike output in 5-round fights leads the division and often dictates the pace of every bout he's in. But the power question lingers. In contrast, Poirier is a master of controlled chaos, powerful, precise, and lethal in the pocket with both hands. His left hand, in particular, is a finish or break tool, and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt gives him extra options on the mat. He's grown more patient and defensive-minded over the last half-decade, but his core strengths, durability, power and veteran grit, continue to win fights. Looking back at UFC 236, it's clear that while Holloway had the volume, Poirier had the clear impact moments. Poirier mixed in takedowns, threatened submissions, and arguably won every round where his power shots landed consistently. However, Holloway's output nearly stole 2 rounds, especially when Poirier's cardio wavered and the Hawaiian's endless engine began surfacing in the later frames. The critical question for Fight 3: has the gap narrowed or widened? In recent years, Holloway has seemed fresher, with less mileage accumulated from battles at lighter weights and a renewed finishing instinct at 155. His defense has subtly improved, his chin remains intact, and his accuracy is peaking. Now, he's not just touching opponents, but hurting them. His KO of Gaethje was a reminder to the division that when Holloway finds range, he can end a fight instantly. He's also better equipped than ever to avoid the early storms that Poirier produces. Poirier, for all his experience and well-rounded game, has more reason for concern. His last 2 knockouts, especially against Gaethje, exposed some cracks in his defensive armour. Although his grit is beyond question, extended wars have brought wear and tear, and pace-heavy matchups, like the one Holloway will surely create, may work against him as fatigue accumulates. Still, Poirier's adjustments and deep toolbox keep him dangerous. If he times Holloway early, catches him lunging, or finds an opening for a surprise takedown or submission, the fight could shift rapidly. And in a career fight in front of a friendly New Orleans crowd, don't underestimate the emotional boost or the pressure that comes with a farewell. Experts and odds makers are nearly split. Holloway is a slight favourite, buoyed by his stunning recent form and perceived improvements at lightweight. But this is no blowout.
Super excited. There's nobody else I'd rather be standing across from. When I go into my final fight, Max is a legend. I got so much respect for the guy. He really wanted this fight. I said legends only. If I can get my hand raised again, retire with the BMF belt, I'm in the BMF forever.
Analysts point to Poirier's past success in the matchup and his ability to consistently land fight-altering shots, especially in the early rounds. However, the consensus seems to be that if Holloway survives the first 10 minutes, the fight is his to lose. The stats back it up. Holloway's strike output rarely drops below 20 per minute in the championship rounds, while Poirier has shown signs of fading deeper in 5-rounders, especially post-2021. So, how do we call it? Holloway's recent surge, fresher legs, advanced defense, and rediscovered knockout power, paired with Poirier's visibly mounting damage and possible farewell pressure, make the Hawaiian the safer pick. Expect Poirier to threaten early with heavy counters and all-out aggression, but as the minutes tick by, watch for Holloway's pressure, recuperative skills, and volume to overwhelm. Whether via late TKO or a clear decision, the likeliest scenario is Holloway getting his trilogy revenge, as the tide turns through relentless pace and adaptation. Still, true fans know, when these two lock horns, a single mistake or moment of brilliance could upend any narrative. Regardless of outcome, expect 5 rounds of heart, legacy and violence. And in the end, Holloway by decision, or possibly late stoppage in a modern classic. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's just a tiny click for you, but it makes a massive difference for us. Thanks for supporting the channel.